review of 2023. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's 2023 already. When I was younger, I absolutely hated when it was time for the year to change because I would have to write a new number and I would cry in class and I'd be like, I just got used to writing this number and now I have to write a new one. So not only is this the first review of 2023, it's probably the coolest review of 2023. I mean, look at this thing. This is the Giganotosaurus bust by Infinity Studio, and it's incredible to look at. It is mind-blowing in sculpt, in detail, in paint, in pose. It's just so incredible. I'm so impressed by it. And for those of you at home, I think you're gonna agree with me that it's gonna be one of your top favorite statues as well. One of the most popular new dinosaurs to come out of the Jurassic World franchise and Rexy's arch rival is the Giganotosaurus, which was introduced to us first in the Jurassic World Dominion prologue showing the ancient feud. Giganotosaurus, meaning giant southern lizard, was a theropod dinosaur known for its elongated skull and lived in what is now Argentina, approximately 99.6 to 95 million years ago. The remains of a specimen was first discovered in 1993 and was nearly 70% complete. Funny, that's the same year Jurassic Park the movie was released. Coinkydink? I think not. Giganotosaurus had 3 fingers on its hands, unlike the T-Rex which had only 2. And due to the scarcity of specimens to study, it's long been debated if Giganotosaurus was roughly the same size as the T-Rex or larger than the T-Rex. But the general consensus seems to size the Giganotosaurus up to being larger than the king of the lizards. And although rivals in Jurassic World, Giganotosaurus lived millions years earlier than the T-Rex in South America, not North America, which the T-Rex ruled from 67 to 65.5 million years ago. The team at Infinity did everything they could to give us a hyper-realistic piece by analyzing, the scales, forms, and details of the Jurassic World beast frame by frame to achieve a detailed and accurate final result. The bust has some pretty crazy details like saliva dripping from its teeth, sharp claws, ouch, magnetic arms that stay in place, and incredible scale work. From the base to the snout, it is approximately 20 inches and about 18 inches high and 12.5 inches wide. And it is on the heavier side, weighing between 23 and 24 pounds. So because I wasn't able to get my hands on a base stand, they had some, but they just couldn't get it to me in time. I actually ended up just making my own base. So let's start at obviously my favorite part of the statue, and that is the mouth. I wish I was like Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus and I could be like, let's go kids, and I'm just like going into the mouth. Taking a closer look at those individually sculpted teeth, they are actually serrated on either side, meaning they have a jagged saw-like edge to grab onto that meat better and give it a good slice. And note how the teeth are, not just all white or all yellow. There's actually a gradient and variation to the teeth, making them look that much more realistic. It's like they've been stained over the years from all that meat and blood juice. One of my favorite features, there is a glossy saliva sheen to the teeth, and there's even little bits of saliva dripping off of the teeth. I mean, how sweet is that? We even have a chipped tooth due to battle damage on the front here, which in Jurassic World Dominion, you can see right here. Going inside the mouth, there is still such a high level of detail in here. Like, look at all that gloss in here. We have all these little bumps and textures here on the tongue, which are most likely papillae, which house taste buds and such. So here are some on the back, these little bumps here. And look how strong this tongue looks with this muscular definition. And on the sides here, it looks like these bumps might be another type of papillae or something. I'm not sure, but it really does stay true to the Jurassic model. You can see some flaps at the beginning of the throat at the very back, and what I thought was a very neat touch was on the roof of the mouth. There's some highlight details up there to show off all those ridges and bumps and sculpted details that you would never think to look up there. We have the nostrils on the front, which are nice and deep. If you had little baby fingers, I'm sure you could get one of them in there. And moving up that elongated, curvy skull to the eye area, the eye is just so striking with that green and yellow look to it. It's very evil looking. And there's even a glossy film over the eye to add to that realism, just a little added touch. Here are the ears towards the back of the head, and above we have these nice, giant, armored, sculpted ridges that stretch all the way down the neck and into the back. This area really reminds me of Godzilla, or, you know, like a crocodile or an alligator. The whole piece looks like it's made out of stone or something, you know, some creature that came out of the ground or a volcano. It's the exact opposite of soft and cuddly. This guy's like hard and pointy, but the scale detail on this piece is just nuts. It's nuts. I mean, look at this. Look at all the variation, the different sizes, different shapes. Got like, you know, osteoderms and all these armored little bumps. Just everything pops because of that white color in between everything, making this piece look like a mosaic. The wrinkles and skin folds bring so much realism to this, and it creates a lot of shadow highlights to kind of show the strength of this dino, which is really neat. And there's just so much varying depth. But there is a variety of colors used here. It's not just gray. You can see that it's almost like blue, like a dark blue in areas. There's like a peachy cream color for highlighting and in between scales and on the top of the scales. Also in some areas, there's kind of like a greeny blue striping pattern, like on the arms. There's a lot of battle wounds and scarring on this guy. All around the body, like here above the lip, someone did a number on that. We've got these deep scratches here on the side. And you can see that they're filled with a reddy pink color to look nice and deep, even on the face. This guy's just full of battle scars. And I know, this is probably a female, but you know, just force a habit. If something is scary, I call it a he, so he. And down below here, we have the arms and claws, which are also beautifully painted. Each claw is black with a glossy coat to them, making them look extra sharp. There's a little protrusion here on the arm that fits in the hole of the front body, and it's magnetic, so it's not going anywhere. It's nice and snug. It doesn't even look like those arms were separate pieces. They actually blend in pretty well. And finally, we have our Jurassic World Dominion base stone that looks like the Giganotosaurus just crashed right through it, causing the stone to crackle like it's nothing. This is a wall-mounted bust, so on the back there are holes to hang this up on, you know, some bolts or whatever have you on the wall. And because it is kind of on the heavy side, you know, I think I said it was around 20 plus pounds, you do want to make sure you do a good job securing this to the wall. Infinity Studio has also come out with a T-Rex bust. It looks absolutely awesome. This base edition that comes with the T-Rex is also compatible with this Giganotosaurus bust, and you can buy it separately. So if you do buy the Giganotosaurus, you can also purchase a display stand for your guy. So because I'm personally not super into wall hanging things, if I had the space, trust me, I would hang this on the wall, but my wall is just covered with shelving and stuff. And what I can do is I can have a nice sturdy table or stand, and I can place this guy on it to display. So because I wasn't able to get my hands on a base stand, they had some, but they just couldn't get it to me in time. I actually ended up just making my own base. So if you can see on the back, and it does a perfect job holding this up, it's nice and strong. I have two pieces of wood like this. I put this guy in the middle and started just screwing a bunch of screws in here so that it's nice and solid. And then on the front, I put one piece right here on the bottom as like a balancer to kind of, you know, even the forces out of how heavy this thing is. And I just, again, screwed that thing in the back a few times to both of these pieces of wood. So I have my own little base here. I painted it black. I was actually gonna, you know, put little bits of moss on it maybe, or like grass or ferns or something coming off of it to make it a little more personalized and a little more interesting. And of course, on the back panel here, I put two screws in here so they aligned perfectly with where the like holes are on the Giganotosaurus, so it could just get hung up there like a hat. And last but not least, Governor, let's go over the critiques. Every piece has critiques, no matter how cool it is. So critique-wise, I think what would have been really interesting is you see this crackly rock pattern on the back. I think it would have been really cool if in some of the grooves, like not super bright and fluorescent, but maybe just a tiny bit of faint like yellow and orange to make it look like it cracked through like lava or like magma rock or something. I thought that would have been cool to just kind of change it up, because the stone piece and the Giganotosaurus itself, they are quite similar in color, so it'd be cool if it could have just broken it up a little bit with the crackles in there. And last but certainly not least, of course, you hear me say this all the time with pieces, especially cool looking pieces, is edition numbers. A lot of the times nowadays, you don't have a year, you don't have the company that made it, and you don't have an edition number. So I would have loved to see on this guy, you know, 2022 or 2023, Infinity Studio, number 5 of 500. You know, that'd be so cool. Like as a collector, that 5 out of 500, that edition number, it really makes it more valuable to me, you know, as a collector. And it's just a cool thing to know. And, you know, down the road, 10, 20, 30 years later, someone sees this, you know, in a collection somewhere or in, you know, on a shelf, and they don't see any information on it. They don't say a year, they don't see a company, they don't see an edition number. So I just find that the collectibles nowadays, especially the higher end ones, they really do chintz out and not go that extra step to put the information on there. Year, company, and edition number. This is a promo piece. I don't know if they're gonna have that or not, but fingers crossed that they do, because it would be a really cool thing to add to these guys. So a giant thank you to Infinity Studio for sending this to us to take a look at and review for the first time here on YouTube. This thing is so big, I can give it a hug. That's how big it is. And it weighs more than my cat Muffin, which is crazy. And if you want to check out any other products from Infinity Studio, I will leave their site and socials down below, like their Facebook, their Instagram, where you can see news and updates and such. And they do have lots of other really interesting things like Predator, Lord of the Rings, Joker, Batman, etc., etc. Their life-size busts look really, really cool. They are just waiting for their listings to pop up on Big Bad Toy Store and Sideshow Collectibles, so they will be available very, very soon. And I will probably give an announcement on my social medias when they do become available, because there is going to be a limited number of these guys. I am really interested personally to see what else Infinity Studio comes out with. I mean, they did such an amazing job on this guy. I couldn't imagine what they would do with something like, you know, the Quilliam Raptor from Jurassic Park 3, the one with like the feather in its head. Oh, they would do such a good job on Godzilla. They would do a great Godzilla statue. Like, you know, all these scales and stuff that they did, it's like so reminiscent of Godzilla. So let me know in the comments down below which other dinosaurs and creatures you'd like to see in this hyper realistic detailed bust form. Heck, even like fantasy creatures, like, you know, just like a Hydra or like Medusa or a Minotaur. Oh man, they would have such a Kraken? That would be amazing. So I hope you all enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in the next one. Whoops, I almost broke my ring. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, a dragon would be cool. They would do such a good job doing a dragon like Smaug the dragon. That would be amazing. Oh, yes, 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 yes. So thank you all so much for watching, and stay legendary.